I do dance and now I'm doing track as well.
Tennis and cross country.
I was part of the varsity swim team for 2 years in a row.
I do volleyball and softball.
Softball, rugby, and just going to the gym in general.
I do volleyball, touch, and track.
I did cross country this year. I did a little bit of track, and then I'm more focused on rowing outside of school.
I do football, touch, track and field, dance, and I used to do rhythmic gymnastics.
With the stiff competition that every varsity sport has, it becomes hard for younger students and those who are on lower grades to join, as older students generally have a size advantage.
During tryouts, did you feel that you had a fair chance of getting into the team?
When I first went to tryouts, there were so many girls there just for JV, and I was getting nervous that I wouldn't make the team because I wasn't very confident in myself. But then I got called to go to the varsity practice, and then in the end I did make it. But at the beginning, no, I wasn't confident at all that I would make it.
No, partially because I didn't even go to tryouts for varsity. I actually went to tryouts for JV, and later out in the year I was moved up. Well, I wasn't sure. I mean, I was playing with JV for the first half of the season, and then every now and then I'd kind of get asked to play some varsity games, and I started going to more varsity practices. And then by one point I was actually doing both teams, and then came time when we had to start really bearing down for our asses and exchange, I went straight with varsity.
At ISKL, they do the separation of 9th and 10th graders from the 11th and 12th graders because the JV and varsity, and then they said them in most cases 10th graders and 9th graders don't make the team at all. I was like, yeah. Oh god, okay, well, whatever. So yeah, I did.
And so you didn't feel out of place then?
At the beginning I did, because everyone on the team has already been friends for a long time, so it was kind of where do I fit in here? So it was just hard to get into the group. But then once we started practicing a lot, then I became friends with everybody on the team. So
yeah, that was the same because everybody had already played with each other for a few years, or they've known each other because they were all in the same grade. So then it felt a little awkward at first, but then as the weeks went on, then it got more natural and it was fun.
Sports are an important aspect in a lot of students' lives. For many, it can be an escape from the daily stresses of school and life. While sports can serve as an escape for many, for those in varsity and ISS, it can be the source of anxiety and have a massive impact on students' academic and social lives, as well as performance.
How does playing in varsity sport interfere with your academics?
It takes up a lot of time because we have practice pretty much every day, but I always manage to find time after school or during my preps, and I get my work done.
In a week, we would have around 4 normal practices from 4 to 6, and on Fridays we would usually have a morning practice, which starts at 6, and sometimes we would have games over the weekend, like tournaments and stuff.
I was the second best in Norway for my age division. Well, it was a lot different training in Malaysia compared to Norway. In Norway, it was more friendly, and I had my friends there, while here it was a lot tougher. My sister started, and I basically just wanted to be like my sister, so yeah, I started. I used to play a bit of football in Norway. I didn't really train it, but I just played for fun. And then track and field and touch was basically just to stay fit. Joining ISS Dance was definitely a way for me to kind of get back into gymnastics and getting my flexibility back and just dancing. I mean, I might coach for a few of them, and maybe I'll pick up some gymnastics when I go back to Norway.
All athletes have different views on whether their sport is really helping them or just making their lives even more difficult. For some, it may help reduce daily stress, whilst for others, it may contribute to the problem.
I think that it helps you balance your work and your play at the same time, so it kind of gives you a balance between your physical activities and your homework.
At first it was difficult. My grades were falling a little bit, and then after a while I was able to build a discipline that helped me enable to succeed in school with the rowing. So I feel like over time I was able to develop a sense of discipline with the rowing. So.
Whenever I come back from tennis or workout, it helps me keep focus on what I'm supposed to do.
After a practice, I would usually be more focused because I know that I have a limited amount of time as an average student would.
Yeah, there's definitely added on pressure because, well, one, like you don't want to miss a practice, you know, to get work done because practice is really important. But at the same time, like your studies do come first sometimes. So when you are sort of piled on with a lot of work, you have to kind of like decide which is more important sometimes.
I mean, it's definitely happened this year with softball. My team, we all come from like different groups and obviously different grades, but I think in the end you just kind of have to put aside like your personal life differences and come together for like the main goal, which is trying to like win and improve and get the most out of the sport.
Based on all the interviews, the athletes of ISKL agree on that it is challenging to be a part of a sport and at the same time try to balance the workload. However, they are able to deal with the stress, for in the end, it is worth it.